Hello, hello. This is the Awful and Awesome Entertainment Wrap, episode 358. This is Rajeshri Sen, and
Hi, this is Abbas.
we have a special guest today who is far more well informed than we are on all things cinema and entertainment, which is Mayank Shekhar, who is a film critic and with Midday, and you can read his reviews on Midday. And we are going to be discussing Kill, Rao Tu Ka Raz, Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F, and Bear Season 3. But before that, there's a small announcement that Awful and Awesome is going to be behind the paywall from this episode. And to catch the full podcast, you have to subscribe to News Laundry, which you should anyway do because you need to support free news and independent news. So to do that, please log on to News Laundry. It's newslaundry.com/subscription, and you select a subscription plan of your choice. There are various denominations, whatever you want to subscribe, and just do your bit in making journalism great again. And now to Mayank, who has watched Kill, and because of whom I went to the theatre and watched Kill. I will just give my reservation before I went to watch it. Whenever Karan Johar promotes, I'm following Karan Johar on Instagram for some reason. I don't know why, but I am. And whenever he promotes something, I tend to be, because I'm like that, I have a jaundiced eye at it. But then everyone started saying it's really good, the film. So I went and watched it in a theatre after reading your review that you should watch it with an audience. And I will tell you the audience reactions after that. But tell us about the film and what you thought of it.
No, Rajit, firstly, thank you very much for having me. And also to have me on the segment that people don't have to pay for. Because, I mean, you know that nobody's going to pay for this segment for sure.
They might not for ours also. Carry on.
No, but that was a big fear with Kill as well, right? The fact that people really go in to watch an action film with nobody's in it, in the sense that you've not heard of the lead character, the lead actors. And mostly action movies are built around a personality, right? I mean, that's why Salman Khan action movies tend to do well, because that's you go to watch a Salman Khan movie or a Sunny Deol movie. And I think that's really what happened, isn't it? Like, I do not think this movie picked up on day 1, day 2, day 3. I don't know what it's done on the box office, but it's the most hardcore actioner that's come out of India. And I don't think the word got out there.
Yeah.
I watched a week before this, and I'm so glad I'm able to discuss it with you because you're the only two people who've seen it.
So, and Ashish Vidyarthi's character and his relationship with his son is just fabulous. Absolutely. And it comes through with so little dialogue. I think they must have had, 30 sentences in that full film where people are speaking to each other. But I really liked it. And I think it's brilliant that Karan Johar and Guneet Monga, I still expect would this thing green light a film like this, but Karan Johar to put money into something like this, is behind something like this, I think is very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why Karan Johar would do what he did is so that you don't feel, queasy about mentioning to the world that you follow on Instagram. He gives him a credit, right? And it gets him the credit that he actually deserves, because I don't know if you've seen BTS of this movie. It's quite incredible. Abbas, have you had a chance to see it? It's about how they created this train, right? It's quite amazing. So it's a collapsible train. They've literally just taken the real Rajdhani and built it from scratch, except that you can't then shoot much. So every element of that train goes up and down. And then the train also shakes. So switch it on and it shakes. So the production design of this movie, and I only realized after watching the videos, is quite something. And of course, to shoot it, right? Because if this fight were to actually take place in that little freaking space, that aisle between the berths, you're not going to see anything, right? It'll just be like some random mayhem that takes place, which is what almost all brawls are, isn't it? You don't even know what's going on in a brawl. Like, people just like throwing shit at each other. I mean, you're from Delhi, so you should know pub brawls. I'm sorry, we don't have bar brawls in Bombay.
At Topaz, when Topaz was there.
So I mean, I was quite struck by the sheer
It's very interesting that Mayank says that he did not like the raid because, of course, this film has been doing the round. The Kill has been doing the rounds of film festivals and it's got rave
Hmm.
reviews. So the biggest comparison that people made for Kill was the raid, and I have seen the raid and I didn't quite enjoy it as much. So I went in to Kill with that in mind. I was like, will I enjoy this? The thing about Kill is, and again, when you compare it with the Tarantino violence or whatever, I don't know how to explain this, but it's like when you see Tarantino film or when you see these Hollywood violent
Hmm.
films, it's white people mostly killing each other. So you don't get the gravity of it, right? The thing about this is, like you said, it's set in an Indian train, an Indian long distance train, which we all have been in.
And
And
a
I feel like,
Rajdhani. It's also not like a local train. It's a Rajdhani
of course, yeah,
second
yeah, yeah.
AC where you think that, oh,
Ranchi to Delhi. Yeah.
yeah,
Ranchi to
Yeah.
Delhi, Rajdhani.
yeah. So the only catch is the Rachi part, but otherwise it is where you consider that you'll be quite safe. You won't, like, nothing
Yeah,
too bad
exactly.
could possibly happen. So that I
So-
think is
so-
also why we relate to
I-
it more.
I admire it. Of course, like in a train, because it's a long distance train, there's a little ecosystem you create. Like we are
Hmm.
way more sort of conscious of ourselves when we are traveling in an aeroplane than I think we are in a train where
Hmm.
you are eating in front of people. You're
Making
you're
friends, yeah, making
sleeping,
conversation.
making
That's my
friends,
memory of
all of that.
trains.
Yes.
Nobody does that on trains.
So for Kill, it's like technically, I feel every crack of the bone, I feel every punch, I feel every sort of impact of a character hitting the side of the berth, all of that. But around the interval point, I was watching it with a friend of mine.
I have a sense that this will turn into a bit of a cult movie over time. In fact, I would like it if it does not get its due. But then it'll be like people
Yeah,
discover
it
and-
becomes, yeah.
except that if you don't watch it in theater, it's no fun.
Yeah.
There is an element. I watched it with these focus group type people, and and I could tell that when you're talking with the audience and with the screen is when you know the movie. I think the last experience I had, which was similar,
Hmm.
was Manjumal Boys. You're like, okay, no,
Oh.
no, 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 no. When you talk like that, you know it's really genuinely work at a visceral level, right? Because you don't tell
So
yourself
these
to
guys
say
were
this.
talking, huh? They were talking.
That-
Oh, kya hua? Why is he?
Yeah.
They were having
And
a
I think
full
that's- yeah.
conversation.
Also, I mean, I'm okay with the fact that it's advertised as the most brutal in the movie. I'll tell you why. And that's one of the reasons why Abbas did not like the movie. It has no dramatic relief. It's totally non-stop, right? No movie goes like this. It's they're playing on structure, right? And the second thing to compare this violence with other violence movies is, if you notice, there's zero background score and it's only Foley sound.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
like pat sound of flesh
Hmm.
against flesh. They're not trying to dramatize any moment where they dun, or zooming in or zooming out for impact. They don't need to do that. So it's in that sense a pretty visceral experience of just skin hitting skin each time. They're not making it louder, and they're not playing any background score to call attention to any particular scene. And every single, I don't know if you noticed, of course you did,
Hmm.
every single punch, every single movement is unique. They don't repeat
Yeah.
a single
No,
time.
so I
Nothing.
did.
So there's no monotony in it. It's not repetitive at all.
Right.
So I think in that sense, from an action, although I have to say, that's one of the things that the director told me, Nikhil Bhatt, right? So I asked him, like, how big was your screenplay? Like, this is 2 pages, right? I mean, this guy enters, beat, and leaves. What did you write there? He has written.
Speaking of doing something different, I watched a film which Abbas did not. Abbas, did you watch Rautu Ka Raz?
No, I did not.
That's very bad of you because I watched it on Z5, which I have a subscription for. And I'm hoping the subscription is like 20 rupees a month or something like that. So Rautu Ka Raz, Rautu Ka Raz is only going to be on audio now. So you'll have to subscribe to News Laundry. And then you will be able to hear the rest of this podcast.
You can fund journalism that solely works for you. That is our motto at News Laundry. You can pay to keep news free so that news becomes accountable to you just like it's supposed to be. Visit newslaundry.com and become a paying subscriber so that you can pay to keep news free and independent.